Coway's Airmega 200M appears to be a redesign of their iconic AP1512-HH, but is it a meaningful upgrade or just a cosmetic tweak? In this video, I will focus on to find out whether this new model could be a bargain or a step backward. Let's find out. If you don't want to watch my full review of the Coway Airmega 200M, here are the 4 things I like and the 4 things I don't. Firstly, what I really like. It can be found for a lower price than the older AP1512-HH. Selling at just under $40, the OEM filters for the 200M are one of the cheapest on the market and go as low as $17 if you go with generics. It also has higher performance than the older AP1512-HH at top speed, and it's on par with the Levoit Vital 200S and the Winex 5500 And the design is a little bit more understated than the shiny AP1512-HH. Okay, what I don't like. Running at full blast, it will add an additional $85 to your energy bill every year, which is double what you will pay with the Levoit Vital 200S. 64.3 decibels at top speed is in vacuum cleaner territory, which is much noisier than the Winex 5500 at 58.9 decibels. A lack of fan speed options means that the sub 45 decibel speed is not as powerful as what you get with other mid-sized air purifiers. It also comes with an impregnated fabric carbon filter, which will often need to be replaced more often than the pelleted carbon filters you get with other similar priced units. Okay, let's jump into the full review. I paid £379.01 from Amazon.com to get it sent here in the UK, but it is available on Amazon.com for a list price of $229, and I will drop those links in the description. In this video, I'll compare the Coway 200M to over 100 air purifiers that we've tested here at House Fresh, based on our first-hand data on air cleaning performance, sound level generation, energy efficiency, and real-life user experience, as well as long-term running costs. If you want to find out more about how we test air purifiers, check out the video here. As always, I will start by looking for third-party independent tests that will give us a KDAR report. These tests show that a manufacturer is open to a third-party feedback on their units and is happy to be transparent about things like air cleaning performance, energy consumption, and ozone emissions. So, Coway sent the 200M for an AHAM test, and the device was certified in 2018. Based on the dust KDAR of 248 CFM, we'd expect to have similar performance to the AP1512-HH, the Levoit Core 400S, and the Winex 5500 For this KDAR score, we'd expect it to clean the House Fresh test room of all PM1 particles in around 23 to 24 minutes, running at full speed. We will also examine its effectiveness at lower fan speeds, as sadly KDAR only tests at top speed. The device has 0 parts per billion of ozone, which would suggest that the ionizer that it used is very low powered, like what we see in Winex. The big difference between the 200M and the older AP1512-HH is the design. Whilst the older model gave off Star Wars vibes, the 200M is a more traditional with a standard cover design that resembles the covers we see in a lot of air purifiers. Like the AP1512-HH, you get the choice of black and white. Beyond the different covers at the front, the rest of the design is pretty much the same. You can even swap the cover from the older AP1512-HH and vice versa. Like the older version, it has a solid handle in the middle, making it easy to move around rooms. The icons for the buttons are different, but they have all the same functions. From left to right, you get the on-off power button, a button for auto mode, and 3 fan speed functions, and ionizer button, timer button for 1, 4, and 8 hours, filter replacement light, and a color-coded indicated light that shows how polluted the air is in real time. The Airmega 200M uses the same unbonded filters you get with the older Coway model, including a true HEPA particle filter and a carbon impregnated fabric that functions as a gas filter. One cool thing that I learned recently is that you can use the pelleted carbon filters for the 1512-HHS with the 200M and the AP1512-HH. I asked Coway for confirmation. They told me you can use the pelleted carbon filter for the 1512-HH, but you will need nippers to remove the plastic ends from the pre-filter. Thanks to the commenter who shared this information with me on here, as I had no idea this was possible. As with the older model, the 200M pre-filter is removable, which makes keeping it clean a little easier compared to the pre-filters that are integrated on the main filter. So let's move on to the house fresh performance test to see what happened. We tested the Coway 200M running at its top speed. According to our Zen sensor, the Coway 200M needed 23 minutes to achieve PM10 in our 728 cubic feet test room, and we estimate a KDAR of 259 CFM, which does match with what we expect from the KDAR report from AHAM. For raw speed, you get great value with the Coway 200M. We also wanted to test it without the use of the ionizer and found that it took 25 minutes, so an extra 2 minutes when the ionizer is disabled, which is similar to what we saw with models from Winx and Allen that also use ionizers. Next, we look at the sound test data. If an air purifier is too loud, you will turn it off eventually. That's why we always measure how much sound they generate from 3 feet away. And these are the results for the Coway 200M. Be aware that speed 1 is close to our background noise, so it might be quieter if you could test the device in a silent room. But please have a listen for yourself. Compared to similar performing devices, the 200M runs louder at top speed. When running at speed 1, it generates 36.9 decibels, which is below the 45 decibel limit that we use here for testing quiet air cleaning performance. At this speed, the 200M reached PM10 in 80 minutes, and we estimate a KDAR of 72 CFM. As you can see from the table, if you're looking for an air purifier you can keep running quietly in the back, then you'll get better quiet performance from the older Coway AP1512-HH. The 200M only has one speed that generates less than 45 decibels of noise, and that is speed 1, which is a lot less powerful and offers poor air cleaner performance than other devices with a wider range of fan speeds. I also tested the particle removal speed when running at speed 2, which generates 46.9 decibels of noise, and it cleaned our test room in 50 minutes, which we estimate to be 117 CFM KDAR. Even at speed 2 and hitting nearly 47 decibels, the performance of the 200M was poorer than the sub 45 decibel speeds that we saw for the Vital 200S and the Winx 5500 II. Next, we use our energy meter to see how much energy the Coway 200M uses at each of its fan speeds, with or without the ionizer, and also whilst on standby. If you were to leave your Airmega 200M running 24/7, it would cost $85.56 in energy costs for 1 year running at top speed. With this calculation in mind, we can compare the annual energy cost you can expect from the 200M with other devices. The 200M uses the exact same energy as the AP1512-HH, which could suggest that they are both the same device internally. As with the AP1512-HH, the 200M uses a lot more energy than similar performing devices, and these electricity costs will add up over time. Now, energy costs are not the only costs that add to an air purifier's running cost. Eventually, you will need to replace the filters. Coway says you need to replace the HEPA filters every 12 months and the carbon filters every 6 months. The recommended OEM filters cost $39.98, which means that the total filter cost for 1 year for the 200M is $39.98. We can combine this with the energy costs and compare with other similar performing air purifiers. Like the AP1512-HH, the low cost of the OEM filters for the 200M offsets the higher energy costs, bringing overall yearly running costs in line with similar performing devices from other brands. If you do go down the generic route, you can get 2 sets of filters for the same price, which will bring yearly filter costs down to $17. I will be testing the 200M's performance with generic filters as a part of our experiments we're publishing on our Patreon. So is the 200M right for you? As this review shows, this is just a different variation of the popular Coway AP1512-HH. The only difference is that the 200M runs louder and offers higher air cleaner performance at its top speed. But the 200M only has one fan speed under the 45 decibel limit that Clean Air Stars recommends for loud classrooms and offices. In contrast, the AP1512-HH has 2 speeds that generate less than 45 decibels. That being said, both of these devices drop significantly in air cleaning performance when used at their lower fan speeds, which is disappointing as these are the fan speeds that most people will use as the top speeds are really loud. If you like the idea of a non-bonded filter, then I recommend that most people check out the Win-X 5500 as it offers better, quiet air cleaning performance and comes with pelleted carbon instead of fabric, which will be better at dealing with odors and gases. As you saw in my review of the Coway AP1512-HH, the 200M is good value mid-tier air purifier, and if you had one, you should keep using it. But the 200M is a side grade, not an upgrade. Stick with your AP1512-HH unless you hate its looks, but new buyers should probably grab the Levoit Vital 200S or the Win-X 5500 Be sure to check out my review of the older Coway AP152HH, as it's a very similar device, and I will drop the video here. And as always, if you have any comments about the Coway 200M, then let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.